Fig and I are going to demonstrate voluntary sharing. So with voluntary sharing, Fig is going to use a start button to let me know that he's okay with me sharing food with a dog. We don't have a dog in the picture yet, and Fig's start button is giving me his paw. Now, if you need to learn how to teach a start button, there's a different video on how to do that. So to start, I have my setup here. I have Fig on a station, and he's comfortable with remaining on that station. So he knows that this is where he's fed. When I introduce my helper animal, I'm going to have her on this station. With Fig, I am feeding him directly to the mouth, and then with the helper dog, I'm going to feed to this bowl. So it's going to be very clear here where each of them is receiving their food. And I want the entire setup to be arranged from the beginning so that Fig understands exactly how this procedure is going to work. So right now what I'm doing is I'm feeding him every time he offers his start button. So he's just learning that raising his paw gets him a treat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show him that raising his paw means I'm going to feed over here first, then give him a treat. I'm going to feed in this bowl because that's where I'm going to feed the helper dog and then give him a treat. So right now there is no helper dog, but he's just learning that that paw means first I put a treat in the bowl, then I feed to him. And I'm just going to continue that so long as he offers his start button fluently. If at any point he doesn't offer his start button right away, I'm going to consider that maybe he's not comfortable with the situation. Maybe he's not okay with me putting a treat over there, and then I'm going to work on making him more comfortable with that. But I would say right now he's very comfortable with the situation, and so we're going to move on to the next step. So now I've added a stuffed animal to represent the helper dog. So I want to make sure, again, that Fig is very comfortable with this procedure before I start to bring a helper animal into the picture. So you can use any kind of stuffed animal or something that's going to represent the other dog or the other animal. So I'm going to now, every time he gives his paw, I'm going to feed the stuffed animal or put a treat in its bowl, and then I'm going to feed Fig. So he's understanding that a paw means our stuffed animal friend gets a treat, and then he gets a treat. And we're just going to repeat that. And he seems very comfortable with the game. So now we're going to introduce our helper dog. Okay, so now I have my helper dog Jane. So Jane gets a treat when Fig gives me a paw, and then Fig gets a treat. So with Fig, with his little start button of giving me his paw, that's him telling me that he's comfortable with me giving Jane a treat first, and then him. So a paw means that Jane gets a treat, and then Fig gets a treat. And so this is how I'm going to teach my animal to share with another animal. Now, Jane and Fig are both very comfortable with eating treats around each other. If for any reason one of them was not comfortable, I would change this arrangement so that there was a barrier, or maybe I had more distance and a helper person feeding the other dog. But what I want to make sure is that everyone is comfortable in this situation with how we're doing things. And so that's how you're going to teach your cat voluntary sharing.